Okay, y'all, so we got some more news about these Game of Thrones spinoffs, including this Jon Snow show. Y'all already know I've been very I've been very meh about the idea of a Jon Snow show, spinoff, whatever. So I want to get into that again, I guess, as well. Y'all already know I talk endlessly about, the end of Game of Thrones, child. Oh my God, it pisses me off so much. But I want to talk about all this. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Now, don't quote me before we get into this. Don't quote me. But I heard through the grapevines, through the social media grapevines, that we possibly could be getting a House of the Dragon trailer very soon. I don't know what very soon means. I don't know if it's like, in a couple weeks, in like 2 months, or if it's in a few days or something like that. But I don't know. I've been hearing the rumblings, especially if they have already screened it for the press. I've been hearing the rumblings, and it makes sense, especially if they're talking about they're going to release the second season in summer of 2024. It's, the timeline is making sense, so that's something we can get excited about. We can get excited for Rhaenyra's war crimes. We're getting excited for the war crimes. Team Black, stop playing with me. Don't play with me, and I'm black in real life. Get with the winning teams, huh? Get with the winning teams, bitch. Okay. This is my problem. Get on a whole different topic. This is not the topic of the video, girl. This is why editing be so annoying, girl, because what are you talking about? Anyway, so here's the news. Let's talk about this TV Line article that gives us a little update on the spinoffs and the Jon Snow show and all that stuff, right? So for the foreseeable future, HBO's lineup will be like Westeros during the long summer. No sign of snow. Oh God. Which one of you nerds wrote that line? Kimberly Roots, I'm here for it. I love it. That's okay, girl. She said absolutely no frost, nothing, bitch. No sign of snow. Game of Thrones is reportedly in the works. Spinoff centered on Kit Harington's character is nowhere near to getting an official go-ahead from the network, HBO CEO and chairman Casey Bloys recently said. In fact, none of the saga's potential offshoots are. Okay. So he said, we always have Game of Thrones scripts in development. We greenlit Dunk and Egg in the spring. He said, referring to the series order, we know blah, 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 which is based on blah, blah, blah. We know that. However, the immensely popular show's other potential spin-offs, none of which the premium cabler has officially recognized, we should point out, have a long night ahead of them if they ever see production at all. Casey Bloys said, I wouldn't say there is anything else in that world that is close to a green light or anything, but we are always working on different scripts and ideas. In 2021, Bloys stressed that the Game of Thrones spin-off concepts that would move forward would be the ones that are the strongest based on several measures. He said, obviously, we know George has this incredible world with all of this really rich and complicated history and all of these characters. So we've been trying to be thoughtful about what are the stories that are worth telling, what would be exciting, what would fans love. Dunk and Egg is one of those, but not the only one. Remember that in June 2023, George R. R. Martin made news by confirming that Kit Harington would reprise his Game of Thrones role in a series about Jon Snow, aka Aegon Targaryen. He said the show's working title was Snow and that Harington was deeply involved in the project. Queen Clark, first of her name, Harrington's co-star, later said that he had told her about it, and I know it exists, it's happening. That's what she said. Other Thrones spin-offs reportedly in the works at HBO include a prequel focused, of course, on Aegon the First Targaryen, bitch! Aegon the Conqueror, bitch! Don't play with him. A Nymeria-centric series that oh my God, I cannot wait. We're talking about water magic. We're talking about they running from fucking Valyria. Like, it's crazy. Like, y'all. That's why I'm like, bitch, y'all giving us Dunk and Egg. Like, bitch, God, if y'all don't give us Nymeria or some shit, or even Aegon's Conquest, I don't give a fuck. If that's, like, I do not care if he was going around the entire content, which is exactly what he did, telling hosts to submit, and that's the entire show. Like, that's fine. It's okay. Like, I'm telling you, it's fine. I don't care if it's one-sided. I don't care. I just want to see it. It's fine. And they also talking about doing one with the sea snake, and I'm like, okay, all right. I'm just like, I don't know. Bad bitches with magic and bad bitches on dragons is just gonna automatically get my wig there. You see what I'm saying? You're automatically gonna snatch my wig off. So y'all gonna have to work a little harder when it comes to these shows without dragons, when it comes to these shows without a whole lot of magic and shit. So Like that's just it. I'm a homosexual. Like you, I live for the stunts and the gags and the shows. Like this, you know what I mean? Like I can't help it, girl. I can't help it. So in related news, Bloys also said that a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight, will likely start shooting in spring of 2024, pending, of course, a strike resolution. Now, I think that y'all gonna have to just go ahead and, okay, before I start dragging Jon Snow, let's talk about what he said in Entertainment Weekly when they were covering it, and let's just talk about it. So he began speaking about how Game of Thrones ended in 2019 with Jon killing Daenerys. Oh, you will pay for your crimes, Jon. Oh, you will pay for your crimes. I am a Daenerys stan, a loyalist. I think she was done horribly by the writers in the end. Y'all already know, I don't have to keep reiterating, but I'm just letting you know that I will always bend the knee to my queen, and that's exactly what Jon should have did. He should have sat his ass down somewhere. Drogon should have sat his ass down, actually. Anyway, okay, so how the show ended with Jon killing Daenerys and being banished to live out his days on the Wall in the North. He said, I think if you asked him, he would have felt that he got off lightly. And at the end of the show, when we find him in that cell, he's preparing to be beheaded and wants to be. He's done. The fact that he goes to the Wall is the greatest gift and also the greatest curse. He's got to go back up to the place with all this history and live out his life thinking about how he killed Dany, and live out his life thinking about Ygritte dying in his arms, and live out his life thinking about how he hung Ollie, and live out his life thinking about all of this trauma. And that's interesting. That's what Kit said. And this is absolutely no shade to Kit, because I think that all the actors were just extremely talented and they did the best that they could with what they got. But like, he's saying that's interesting, and to me, I'm just like, that's not interesting to me. No shade. Like, you are just like, Jon Snow's just gonna be sitting and brooding, like that's what he's doing. And in order to make it somewhat interesting, it would have to involve Drogon and shit. I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, girl, you are Targaryen. Like, you see what I'm saying? So and then if I ever see Jon Snow on top of Drogon's back, like, we gonna be fighting for real. Like, I'm going to pull up to the headquarters, like HBO headquarters. I'm be like, somebody square up. We got to square up right now. You see what I'm saying? None of that. Like, because of the way that the writers left this character, because of the way that the story played out in season 8, it just really leaves no room for a story after these events that make any kind of sense. Like, I don't know, like, what are you stringing together that Jon Snow is depressed and we just gonna watch him brood around the goddamn wall? It's just like, I just don't see the way that even, I mean, he can't even look back at his fucking sword fight with the fucking Night King, because it didn't happen. Arya came out of nowhere and did what she had to do. So it's just like, I understand, like, Kit's desire to make a spin-off show and to please the fans. Like, I get that. But the way that they fucked up everybody's character at the end, it's just like, it's hard for us to really place what the story even would be about. Because to me, to make it even somewhat interesting, you got to add some kind of magic. You got to add some kind of crazy ass event that don't, mess up the continuity or whatever the fuck that happened in the previous show. Like, so I'm just like, what? As a flaming homosexual, I think the only thing that y'all could get me up for real is if Dany came back, and it's just like, at that point it would be a Daenerys show. And that's what I really want anyway. So, y'all really fucked our ass up, right? So, like, I don't know, have them priests raise her ass up and have her come over here for fucking revenge, girl. Let her I'm telling you, I don't know, but even that story is just like, okay, she comes back for revenge and they kill her ass again, and the story's done. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? Unless she just stick around and haunt bitches in their nightmares and dreams and shit, like, it's just the way that they ended the show was just so ass. I was gonna say astronomically terrible, but we could just stop the word right at ass. It was so ass that I'm like, y'all are trying to make more y'all just gonna have to go way down in the timeline. Like, I don't know, way far past whatever George envisioned in the future, for y'all to play with the story in a way that it doesn't fuck up, like I said, the canon, the lore of whatever y'all built. So I'm just like, either y'all go way in the past, because at this point, or y'all go way in the future, because I just don't see why would we give a fuck about Jon? Like, what was he doing at the end that we're just so gagged about? He didn't even fucking kill the Night King. So it's just like, y'all, gradually we saw the caliber and quality of Game of Thrones just decreased. You could say after season 6, that shit was just like, even season 6, it's just like after season 6, we should have just ended that shit. So I just don't know how they're gonna pick up the pieces from that shit. And it's just like, y'all would have to work so hard to get me to care about a Jon Snow show. And I'm still even nervous about like House of the Dragon. Even like a Daenerys show would make me nervous with the way that y'all treated her before. It's just like, and then some of the things you're moving around with House of the Dragon, I don't know if I'm wrong about the timeline, but shouldn't Nettles be featured? I heard that Nettles is not, spoiler, sorry, for House of the Dragon season 2. Spoiler, just in case, you know, people get mad. I heard that Nettles not even gonna be in there. That's what I heard. That Nettles, and I don't know if I'm in the wrong part of the timeline where, you know, it's not a big deal if Nettles don't show up yet, but I'm just like, girl, y'all be moving shit around and it's making us nervous. And y'all talk about Jon Snow show, it's just like, girl, we gotta focus on the shit we got right now. Like, make sure that shit is good. Make sure House of Dragon ends well, for y'all start talking about bringing Jon Snow boring ass back. No shade. Like, please, okay? But yeah, please tell me what y'all think about this, because I could go on and on and on and on. Y'all already know I can talk for hours about how they butchered us, okay? How they shat on the fans with that shitty ass writing, okay, at the end of the show. So you know I can talk forever. Thank you so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.